everybody, and welcome to the Bob Stoops app. I'm Brad McMullen, along with Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops. It's Week 10 in college football, and the Sooners need a much-needed win, and they've got Maine coming to town. Fortunately, we're a big favorite in that game.
Yeah, and Brad, it's just all about trying to continue to improve. I thought we made some improvements a week ago, even though we lost. Defense had a good game. Offense seemed to have a little better rhythm. We ran the football better. Jackson Arnold came up and played well. You know, so we just got to build on it and hopefully get a little momentum going into the last part of the year.
Yeah, that first half, the way OU looked offensively, we were running the football, we were passing. That last drive just before halftime, scoring that other touchdown, you felt like this is the team we expected to see all year round.
Yeah, and that's, you get some momentum. At that point, we took care of the football, which is a big deal. You know, we weren't making foolish mistakes, and we had a little bit of a rhythm going, and that's what we have to build on.
Yeah, no moral victories here at Oklahoma, though. It's measured by wins, losses, and championships. And right now they have a much-needed win coming up here on Saturday. If they're able to do the things that have nothing to do with talent, don't turn the football over, don't have penalties, and that's something that's really plagued Oklahoma this year.
It's a big deal. 1st and 10, you get a holding. It's 1st and 20. 9 out of 10 times you're not going to be able to convert first down. Same thing, third down penalties, whatever it might be. You just have to play a clean, solid football game, and we're capable of doing that.
And of course, we can't have drop passes either. Those are those other things. That's just a hard thing to look at. All right, Oklahoma is favored by 35 points against Maine. Coach, I have a feeling I know who you're going to pick in this one.
Oh yeah, we got OU going, and that's a lot of points. And I would imagine, depending on how the game goes, if we are fortunate to get up a decent amount, I'd imagine this late in the year there'll be some young guys get in and get a feel for playing. So we'll see. But I'm always leery of too many points like that. 35's too many for anybody.
Yeah, and the other thing you got to keep in mind, the weather forecast. Right now, they're forecasting a lot of rain during that play, and that means a lot more running the football.
Yeah, definitely. It'll change a lot of things. And this week it's been really windy. And to me, if it's windy at all, that just complicates things further.
All right, so some of the other games that we're going to be watching this week, you've got Ohio State at Penn State. At times, Ohio State has looked like the best team in the country. At other times, they look very beatable. Obviously, last week against Nebraska, not their best performance, but they were able to get the job done and come home with the win. Penn State, on the other hand, still undefeated.
And I thought Ohio. It's hard to pick against Ohio State. They've won so much, but they have not looked really strong. Mm-mm. And I'm because it's at Penn State, I'd go with Penn State. I don't know what the line is, but
3 points.
3 points. I'm just leery of going with Ohio State because they had a hard time with Nebraska. Indiana didn't have a hard time with Nebraska. So something's not quite adding up there.
Yeah, and sometimes these teams look great on paper, but they just don't look great in real life, and that can burn you. And that, unfortunately, has been the Ohio State message this year. And you want to talk about pressure. Ryan Day is the winningest coach in college football right now, but he's on a lot of number one lists on the hot seat. Kind of interesting there.
Yeah, I think he's a great coach, so I think they'd be foolish to ever let go of him. Michigan has had their number for 3 years, but I would be surprised if they have their number this year the way they're playing. So I don't know. I think Ryan Day's one great coach, and listen, within an hour he'd have a job if Ohio State did let him go. So
Amen.
Anyway, but I see what you're saying. They haven't won the Big Ten, and that's what they're used to doing.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting this week. I'm going with the road team. Shock the world. Ohio State will find a way with all of the people on paper to show up and win that game. All right, some other games of interest. Ole Miss at Arkansas. Obviously, the Sooners very familiar with the Rebels, played very well in that first half, but again, the Rebels found a way to win. Arkansas beat Tennessee at home, but hasn't played the same since that game.
Yeah, but it's at Arkansas, right?
Yes, sir.
I like Arkansas. I just think, and Ole Miss has been good, but not great. Inconsistent. Arkansas at home, they've had some tough early games and have won some good ones, beaten Tennessee, and probably should have beaten Oklahoma State at Oklahoma State. And anyway, I'd go with Arkansas there.
All right, again, Ole Miss favored by 7 at Arkansas. Another game of interest here in the SEC. Vandy at Auburn. Auburn favored by 7 points. Just a few weeks ago, Vandy was ranked in the top 25 after that impressive win against Alabama. They played Texas very close last week, but most people believe that Auburn will beat them at home.
I'm going to go with Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
The way they played Texas, that was a 7-point game right there.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think Auburn's near as good as Texas. So I don't know. Vandy got something going this year, so I think they'll keep it going.
And I think even if Auburn wins the game, I don't think they're going to win by more than 7. All right, you've got Oregon at Michigan, unranked Michigan with only 5 wins on the season. Oregon ranked number 1, and of course Dylan Gabriel, a Heisman contender there at quarterback.
Yeah, and it's at Michigan, right?
Yes,
What's
sir.
the line?
The line right now is Oregon favored by 15.5.
Wow, that's big. I believe Oregon will win. I don't believe it'll be that big, but Oregon will beat them, my opinion. But that's a lot of points.
Yeah, one thing about Michigan, they rise up for the big game. We saw that against USC, so I think we'll see that again this weekend. But again, I see Oregon winning, but just not by that many points. A game that looked like it would not be a game a month ago, now it's a game on paper. We're talking about the Florida Gators and the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia 6-1, a 17-point favorite. Florida, though, all of a sudden now has a winning record at 4-3.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think Georgia will win the game, but I'd take Florida with the points. I guess, in my opinion, they're playing better football, and games they've lost have been tight, and I believe that's a big rival for Florida, so I think they'll rise up for it.
And hearing the Florida coach talk about the reason why they've improved. They're not turning the ball over anymore, and they've stopped the stupid penalties, the thing that's really plagued us at Oklahoma this year.
What do we say every week?
Yep.
And people think it's coach speak, or it's the truth. The non-playing penalty, putting yourself in a hole with penalties, beat you down. You're not going to convert third downs. And if you turn the ball over, you're really giving them the game. You got no prayer.
Yeah, again, when Oklahoma wins the turnover battle, they win the football game. All right, moving on. Texas A&M at South Carolina. Here's interesting. Texas A&M undefeated in the SEC and 7-1 overall. South Carolina only 4-3. But South Carolina, believe it or not, is only a 2-point underdog against Texas A&M.
I'm going to go with South Carolina.
There you go.
I don't know. I just, being that it's at South Carolina, some of their earlier games that they lost were tight games. So I just feel, and then watching them here, I just feel, that they'll get something going.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the basics, right? Turnovers.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting play for me. What Texas A&M did in the second half against LSU last week. I mean, LSU was dominating the first half, the way they came out and played so well, and mistake-free football. I think A&M is a legit team. All right, Louisville at Clemson. Yeah, the Clemson team that was left for dead in week 1 after their loss to Georgia has now won 6 straight football games, and they find themselves at home as a 10-point favorite.
Yeah, I'll go with Clemson. I think they'll keep it going. Dabo does a great job. But Louisville's had a good year, but I still think Clemson being at Clemson, that'll make a difference.
Yeah, I think Clemson's going to win the ACC. They look really, really impressive to me. I don't know, something about that first game now being long in the rearview mirror. All right, Kentucky at Tennessee. Tennessee 6-1 on the year, number 7 in the country. Kentucky, couple disappointing weeks in a row, 3-5 on the season.
Well, I got to take Kentucky because my brother's coach there. So so if you're betting, you better take that into consideration.
There you go.
If you're taking my picks.
Yeah, but you never know. And that's the other part is that when Kentucky doesn't turn over the ball, they make smart,
That's right. They
smart
went to Ole Miss and won.
They did, and they played Georgia very tough. So that's the crazy part about the SEC. You never know what you're going to get on a Saturday. All right, battle between some pretty surprising teams in the ACC. Pittsburgh, undefeated, 7-0 at SMU, 7-1. SMU is favored by 7.5 in that game.
Oh, I say SMU will win, but not by that much. I think it'll be a tighter game. Pittsburgh's really playing well, and their defense has been playing well. So I just think it'll be a tighter game than that.
Yeah, and the interesting part about Pittsburgh, not a shocker, when you look at the turnover margin, considerable difference for them, and that's why they're undefeated. Again, win the turnover battle.
It's a major deal.
You got an opportunity. All right, Arizona State at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, a lot of people thought that they would be in the college football playoff this week. They're looking for their first win in the Big 12 right now. Oklahoma State is an underdog at home by 3 points against Arizona State.
I'm going to take Oklahoma State. I just think they're due. They'll play a clean game, and Arizona State, even though they're having a good year, they can beat them, especially at home. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma State.
I agree with you. And the way I saw them play against BYU, an undefeated team at BYU, they had a lot of fight in
Exactly.
them. And they looked like they were ready to get back to the basics called running the football. I like Oklahoma State, especially at home in this game. All right, moving on. USC at Washington, both teams unranked. Both teams 4-4. USC favored by 3 points in this contest.
I'm going to take USC. I just think even the games they lost, the 4 games they lost, they led in the game in the fourth quarter. So it's not like they've, haven't played well overall. So, and I think Washington has been sort of up and down. They'll be looking for USC. Everyone, that's one of those names you want to play. But I just think the way SC has played overall, it's played better than Washington.
All right, one of the people we've talked about on the Heisman list, Dylan Gabriel, former Oklahoma quarterback. Another one, Boise State running back, Ashton Ginty. Interesting thing, if you're a recruiting guru, he was a 2-star guy with 6 offers in Division I. 6 offers in Division I, only 1 Power 5 offer, and that was California. Tulsa, though, did offer him. None of the Oklahoma schools, none of the Texas schools. This guy at Boise State is on par to possibly surpass Barry Sanders. He's already been clocked at 22 miles an hour on a run this season, 1,376 yards, 18 touchdowns, and averages nearly 9 yards a carry.
That's fantastic. You love stories like that, and he's for real. That guy's amazing, and I want to see him keep doing it.
Yeah.
And so you talk about making a difference. Now that's special.
Yeah, 2-star kid. You know something about a 2-star kid. Baker Mayfield right now leads the NFL in touchdowns. Baker Mayfield, all the quarterbacks.
Sam Bradford was a 2 or 3-star guy, depending on what service you wanted to listen to, and he's as good as there was in college football.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Baker Mayfield this year?
I love it.
And you look at his roster, it is like, the hospital emergency room with all the starters that have been out, but he still finds a way to get successful throws.
I just love all the comments through the year, coaches commenting on him, players in the locker room that he's with every day commenting on what a warrior he is, what a player, what a competitor, and that's what he is. He's the favorite guy in the locker room. Everybody, respects his pride, the way he works. The attitude he always has, he comes with it every day. He's going to play hurt. He's going to do whatever he can. Once in a while, he isn't going to slide. He's going to run into somebody to pick up a first down. That's just his nature. And I love the success he's having with the Bucs.
Again, halfway through the season, he is number 1 in the NFL in touchdowns. Congratulations to him. Another former Sooner quarterback, Kyler Murray, 3rd in QBR, not getting a lot of attention, but this guy is a special player as well.
And that's like Kyler, not wanting all the attention. He's very much that way, but a really special player, arm, legs, everything about him. Talented guy, and really excited and happy with his success also.
Amen.
It's fun to watch.
Amen. A lot of fun to watch those guys. And again, you can watch a lot of Sooners play on Sunday. Remember, for videos anytime, just tap on our video link. For Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops, I'm Brad McMullen.